Hello, my name is Cynthia. I'm going to assess your musculoskeletal system today and check your strength. So I'm going to start off by checking your temporomandibular joint. So I'm going to put my fingers right at your tragus, the front of the tragus of your ear. I'm going to have you open and close your mouth. I'm going to have you move your mouth side to side and then protrude and then retract. And I heard some slight coughing, which is okay. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check your cervical spine, cervical area. Is there any tenderness? No. Okay, that's good. So I'm going to have you flex your head down, and that is, and then I'm going to have you put your head back up and then flex your head back. And I'm going to have you do the ear to shoulder on each side. And are you having any tenderness with this? No. I'm going to have you put my hand up against your forehead, and I'm going to have you press up against it. Good strength. And then I'm going to have you put my hand on your face and press against it. And then on the other side. Good, so you have full range of motion and +5 strength. So now I'm going to have you stand, and I'm going to check your spine. So I'm going to check your spine from the side, and I'm going to assess your cervical area here, which is concave, your thoracic here, which is convex, and your lumbar spine here is concave. Did you, any tenderness when I was pressing down? No. So I'm going to stand behind you, and I'm going to feel your spine over your cerebral column, and I'm going to just like palpate and feel. Any tenderness? No. Okay, good. Now I'm going to have you turn, and I'm going to look at your shoulders. I'm going to have you turn in front of me, and your posture is upright, and your shoulders are equal, and your hips are equal. I'm going to have you, again, I'm going to have you turn. I'm going to have you touch your toes, and I'm going to feel your back, and I'm palpating, and the spine is nice and straight. Good. So I'm going to have you flex your back backwards, and that's hyperextension. I'm going to have you stand upright, that's extension, and hands by your side and move down, that's laterally bending. And then I'm going to have you rotate your arms. Great. Full range of motion. Any tenderness? No. Okay, so now I'm going to feel your shoulders for any tenderness, pain, anything? No. Good. I'm going to have you lift up one arm, and that's flexion. And I'm going to have you put it back down, that's extension. I'm going to have you move it to the back, that's hyperextension, and your arm out, that's abduction, and your arm in, that's adduction. Now I'm going to have you fold your arm in your back, and that's called internal rotation, and then I'm going to have you put your arm behind your head, and that's external rotation. I'm going to have you put your hands on, I'm going to put my hands on your shoulder, and I'm going to have you push up. Good, you have +5 strength. So you have full range of motion and +5 strength. I'm going to have you sit back down, and I'm going to check your elbows. So I'm checking to see, do you have any tenderness while I'm palpating? No. I don't see any swelling or bogginess or redness. So I'm going to have you actually check your range of motion now. So I'm going to have you bend your elbow, and that is flexion, and then I'm going to have you extend it back out, that's extension. Then I'm going to have you put your arms out and your palms up, and that's called supination, and then I'm going to have you turn, and that's pronation with your palms down. I'm going to check the strength of your arm. So I'm going to check your strength. I'm going to have you push your arm out, and I'm going to have you push up on my hand. Good, +5, and I'm going to have you push down on my hand. Good, +5. So you have full range of motion, +5 to your elbows. Now I'm going to check your wrist, and do you feel any tenderness while I'm palpating? No. I don't see any redness or swelling or bogginess. I'm going to have you put your hand down, straight and down. That's called flexion. I'm going to have you put your hand straight. That's extension. And I'm going to have you hold your hand up. That's hyperextension. And move your hand towards your thumb. That's radial deviation. And then the opposite way is ulnar deviation. And then I'm going to check the strength of your wrist. I'm going to flex down, and I'm going to push my, put my hand on you, and I need you to push up against me. Good, that's +5. So you have full range of motion and +5 strength to your wrist. I'm going to do your fingers next. I'm going to check each joint. And any tenderness? No. I don't see any redness or swelling, deformities. So that's good. I'm going to have you make a fist. That's flexion. I'm going to have you open it. That's extension. I'm going to have you open your fingers, and that's abduction. And I'm going to have you close your fingers. That's adduction. And I'm going to have you take your thumb and meet your middle finger, and that's flexion on the thumb, which is good. So you have positive range of motion. Then I'm going to have you open your hands, squeeze my 2 fingers as hard as you can, and you have positive +5 strength and positive range of motion to the fingers. Then I'm going to check your toes. Oh, I'm going to have you sign, and I don't want you to be able to pull my fingers. Have me pull the O apart. So good, good strength. So now I'm going to check your toes, and I'm going to palpate. I don't see any redness or swelling or any deformities, and I'm going to have you lift your toes up, and that is dorsiflexion, and then I'm going to have you put your feet down, and that's plantar flexion. I'm going to have you turn your feet in, that's eversion, and turn your feet the other way, inversion. And I'm going to put my hand on your feet, and I'm going to have you push up against, and you have +5 strength and positive range of motion. And then we're going to check, there's 2 tests that we can do to check for carpal tunnel. The first one is the balance test. I'm going to have you put your arms like this for 60 seconds, and do you feel any numbness or tingling? No. So that's a negative test, which is good. And then the second test is the Tenay's test, which is I'm going to have you hold your arm, and I'm going to tap on your medial nerve. And do you feel any numbness, tingling?